Hello guys, and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be making my predictions for the final game week of the 25-26 Premier League season. Game week 38. Don't worry, next season I will have a microphone. I've actually had it since Christmas, but haven't got it up yet. Stupid of me, I know. But as always, before we begin, let's see how I did last time out. I got no scorelines bang on, but I did get 4 outcomes correct, so that is 4 points, taking my season total up to 226. And this is how the table looks going into the final game week of the season. And without further ado, let's predict this Sunday's coming matches. All 3 p.m. kickoffs, I believe. They're all 4 p.m. kickoffs, and we're going to start with a big one. It's Manchester City against Aston Villa in a big old battle. Of course, Man City, Arsenal just won the title yesterday. They won the title by beating, Burnley 1-0. Man City obviously drawing 1-1 with Bournemouth to drop points and ultimately gift Arsenal the title. But this is Pep's farewell game in the league, and I do think, obviously Pep will want to go out with a bang, but let's talk about Aston Villa. Unai Emery, he's actually playing against Freiburg in the Europa League final tonight, and I do expect him to win that and get his 4th Europa League title with Villa tonight. And that will qualify them for Champions League anyway. They've already qualified in the table. Of course, if they finish 5th, that will allow 6th place, currently Bournemouth, into the Champions League places. But with all that being said, Villa are Man City's bogey team, and I think they might get something here. I think if they win the Europa League, they'll all be in party mode, and I think they might win here. I'd like Aston Villa to win 3-2. I don't know where this is coming from, but things haven't looked all, hunky-dory for Man City recently. So I'll back Villa for the win, 3-2 to the Villains. Next up, we've got Brighton against Manchester United in, a fairly big game as well. Brighton are 7th in the table, Man United are 3rd. Of course, Man United are another side that have secured Champions League football for next season. Brighton are actually themselves looking for maybe Europa League. They're hunting down Europe themselves. The thing is, it is at the Amex, and I do like Brighton more at home. But Man United, despite not having a lot to play for, they haven't put their foot off the pedal recently. And I think they might actually get the win here. I know this might be foolish because Bournemouth have a lot more to play for, but I think Man United might just get the job done here. I back the Red Devils to win 2-1. I think, Michael Carrick may well leave them with a huge 3 points again, and ultimately Champions League football again. So 2-1 to Man United. Next up, we've got Fulham against Newcastle United in, this game doesn't really have much significance. Chelsea winning 2-1 against Spurs yesterday stopped both these sides' hunts for European football. But Fulham have been on pretty poor form recently, and Newcastle have been, they started to pick up again over the last 3 games or so in the league. I do think I fancy Newcastle to get the job done here. It's just a matter of how many goals. I think I might back Newcastle for 3 here. I'll give Fulham a goal, but Newcastle win it 3-1. Final day tends to have some high-scoring games, so I'm going to go for another one here. 3-1 to the Magpies to maybe finish around 9th. We weren't worried about them finishing 15th a few weeks ago, but 3-1 to the Magpies, and they'll be very comfortable, yeah, albeit miss out on Europe. Next up, we've got a huge game down the bottom end of the table. It's Tottenham Hotspur against Everton. I say down the bottom end. Everton are currently 11th in the league. Spurs are 17th. They enter this game 2 points ahead of West Ham with 3 available, which means and a far superior goal difference. So long as Spurs get a result here, they will survive another Premier League season. I know Everton and David Moyes, they can be quite cagey. They can show up and get a result. It's pragmatic. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, they can be quite cagey, and it wouldn't at all surprise me if Everton showed up and won 1-0, but I know, and Spurs, one thing they've been is terrible at home all season long. But I think they might come here and get a draw. I think Everton might go a goal up, and then in the second half, Spurs managed to find the equaliser to stay up. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw and Spurs to stay up in the Premier League by, well, you'll see, but I'm going for Spurs to stay up with a 1-1 draw. Next up, we've got Liverpool against Brentford. This is a big match as well for Europe. Liverpool are 5th in the table, Brentford are 9th. And, well, I mean, this is an interesting one. Liverpool, of course, they haven't yet secured Champions League football, and Brentford can still make Europe, so it's a big game for both sides. I know it's at Anfield, and I do like Liverpool at home more. I mean, that defeat to Villa 4-2 was quite bad last week, but I think at Anfield they might get something here, but I'm not going to rule Brentford out either from getting a result when they need it. They seem to be quite good at that. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I'll go down the middle with a Desmond on this one. I think there'll be goals. Both these sides love to score goals at times, so I'm going to go down the middle with a 2-2 draw, and, well, that might be enough for Brentford to snatch maybe Conference League. And next up, we've got the battle to avoid last place in 19th. It is Burnley against Wolves in, well, a pretty meh match other than that. Both sides are already down to the Championship. Both sides are preparing for the Championship next season. I don't know which way to go on this one. If I had to pick a winner, I would pick Wolves based on their performances recently over the last week or two. But Burnley have been impressive-ish as well. Well, I know. The thing is, they can't seem to score a goal. I know they got that 2-2 draw a couple of weeks ago, but I know it's a turf moor. Here's the thing, I think Wolves might be the ones more willing to push for a win. But I think Burnley will be quite happy to sit back and get a draw out of this and take 19th place. I think I'm going to go down the middle with a 0-0 draw. I can't see either side really scoring here, but ultimately I think Burnley will keep 19th and Wolves to remain 20th, but a 0-0 draw, no goals. Next up, we've got Nottingham Forest against Bournemouth in, well, another big match. Well, I say that. Nottingham Forest are 16th, but they're safe. They are safe this season. Bournemouth are 6th, and as I've already said once in the video, if Villa win tonight against Freiburg in the Europa League final and finish 5th in the Premier League table, then Bournemouth, or whoever finishes 6th, may well make Champions League football for next season. the thing is, it is at the City ground, and Forest have looked pretty impressive recently as well. Bournemouth look even more impressive. But on the final day, I think Forest might come out here with a draw, you know. I'm going to go down the middle with a 1-1 draw on this one. I think if I had to pick a winner, I would back the Cherries, but I think Forest will just snatch the draw 1-1. Next up, we have got, well, the second part of the relegation battle. It's West Ham United against Leeds United. And, well, I mean, as I've already said, I do predict Spurs to stay up. Yeah, not mathematically, but given their goal difference is far superior, I think that will be enough to stay up. The thing is, this game is at the London Stadium, and it wouldn't surprise me if West Ham got a draw or something here. But they've lost 3 on the bounce, and they are on pretty poor form right now. Leeds are on very good form. They've been on good form since the turn of the year, really, since January. And I'm glad they stuck with Daniel Farker. I, like a lot of people at the start of the season, thought they'd get rid of him. If they were to stay up, they'd get rid of Farker and bring someone else in. But he's done really well with them, and Leeds are in good form, and I can see them coming to the London Stadium and getting all 3 points here. About Leeds to win 2-1. I think, obviously that'll see West Ham going down to the Championship next season, but that's what I'm going with, 2-1 to Leeds and West Ham to be relegated. Next up, we've got Sunderland against Chelsea in, well, a fairly big match for Europe again. Sunderland are 10th, Chelsea are 8th. They did leapfrog Sunderland in the table with their 2-1 win against Spurs yesterday. Of course, Chelsea have Xabi Alonso coming in. For next season, I'll admit I was one that thought Xabi would join Liverpool at some point, so a bit of a surprise that he's joining the Blues. But I think it's tricky, because if this was at Stamford Bridge, I would be backing Chelsea more, especially with the new manager bounce they have. But with it being at the Stadium of Light, I think Sunderland might see out this season with a win here. I back Sunderland to win 2-1. Yeah, Chelsea have been on pretty poor form recently. Their last 2 wins were the 1-0 win against Leeds in the FA Cup semi-final and the 2-1 win against Spurs yesterday, which, I mean, they tend to win that match at Stamford Bridge anyway. Yeah, they haven't been on the best run of form. I think they'll look to next season now. Obviously, they can still make Europe. I'm backing the Black Cats for the 3 points here, 2-1. And then finally, we've got Crystal Palace against champions Arsenal. Congratulations to Mikel Arteta and his boys for getting the job done with a week to spare. Of course, it was all done after Man City drew with Bournemouth, so they didn't exactly know they were champions when they beat Burnley 1-0 on, was it Monday night? But they are here. They've done it now, and well, they can come out here and play with some freedom now. I feel like it could be a bit of a party atmosphere here at Selhurst Park. Of course, this is Oliver Glasner's last game for Palace as well. But they're not on great form either. I think the Gunners go out here and get the win 2-1. I think they will concede for the first time in like 3 matches. But ultimately, I do think that Arsenal will get the 3 points to, well, you know, with me actually predicting City to lose, my predictions extend the lead by 3 points. So, 2-1 to the Gunners is where I'm going. And there you have it, guys. All 10 of this Sunday's coming matches predicted. That is the season done, guys. That's the last time for the season. Don't worry, I'll be back with some more videos between now and the season starting again in August, I believe. And of course, we've got the World Cup in between next month, so Yeah, I'd love to know your predictions for the final time in the comments down below. Who do you think is going to make Europe? Who's going down? And I'll see you all in the next one.